Hello and welcome to Swamp Chats. I am Kai Chisholm, also known as Samurai Radio. Joining me as always is Manny Chang. And we're finally back for Swamp Chats. I mean, after so long. I was looking at the calendar just now before we started. The last game that the Gators played when they lost to number 8 ranked Texas A&M 41-38 was on October 10th. It's been about 3 weeks since the Gators played. Of course, we know the situation with COVID-19 and now that LSU game being postponed until December 12th. But the Gators are back facing off against Missouri on a Saturday night. So Saturday night football for the Gators. Manny, how does it feel to finally be back in action?
Kai, it's exciting. It's about damn time. It felt like it was going to be almost a month. It felt even like a year, I think, per se. That's why I've missed it. Listen, you know what? I guess before the season had started, not that we knew this might happen, but just the precautions and everything else involved. Listen, I'm just happy that somehow, some way, the coaching staff and the entire Florida sports athletics department, listen, you got to go throughout the whole thing, right? The coaching staff, the players, the trainers, you know what I'm saying? Like that whole little family group there that lives and breathes inside Ben Hill. You got to give them credit for some ways because listen, we've seen the reports, right? It was 5 guys, then it was 20, then it was 25, and then it involved coaches. For them to be able to finally get this controlled, I think is a huge win. I know a lot of other fan bases made fun of us because of it, but today I saw that a couple of Miami Hurricane players listen, this is nothing to joke about. All right. Unfortunately, right. These are college athletes. They're gonna sometimes do the wrong thing. Listen, we were all there once, but listen, it feels great to have football back. Feels great to have football back in the swamp under the light. Especially, carrying the tradition jerseys that we're gonna have tonight. I think, heading into the Georgia game, you want to have a great feeling. You want to have a really, really great feeling on defense. Of course, we'll get into that now, man, but it feels great to be back without question.
One of the things I guess I'm most excited for is just like obviously when we get to see them on the field and we get to see them play, but it's like that return to normalcy. I think that's what everyone was kind of like longing for throughout the beginning and now the middle, and I guess we're still technically in the middle. We're not really down the home stretch yet, like kind of like that sense of normalcy, and it'll be normal again to see the Gators playing, and it'll be normal to finally get them back on the field and have to stop hearing some crap from some fan bases. And of course, it's nothing to joke about. As you said, this is so serious.
Mm-hmm.
It's right to so many families across our nation, across the world. So to see, as you said, that they got it under control and that they're finally back is great. I think the only thing that could ruin it is, the defense not showing up on third down. And of course, it's crazy because you'd think in a normal world, 3 weeks later, you're not talking about the same situation, they'd be still playing, obviously. But when we last left off, obviously the wound isn't as fresh right now, but when we last left off, when the last time the Gators football team took the field, they lost a game that was a trap game, but a game that they definitely should have won. Mm-hmm. I think that nobody can doubt that that's a game that they should have won. They were in control of it for a while, and then they just lost it. Like they themselves lost the game. Mm-hmm. And it was, again, I think we think about third down, we think about just what was going on and how everything was unfolding. How do you think now, after 3 weeks, of course, certain things are in play because of everything that's been happening and everything, but how do you feel that they'll come into this game now that, maybe they've had some extra week to kind of look at film and maybe hopefully Todd Grantham can adjust?
Well, the first thing is, listen, like we've hit the recruiting trail pretty hard, right? I mean, we've had a couple great commits in the last couple of days. So if there's anything positive that came out of this was, being able to get a couple of 5 stars, on the defensive side, especially at the cornerback position and outside linebackers for the class of 2022. But listen, the last time we talked football, our coach, Dan Mullen, said that he was going to look really hard at the whole defense, right? Correct, right? As a whole. Well, he's had 3 weeks. He's had 3 weeks to do this. I do see, though, here that at Gator territory, we're going to be down 3 starters tonight in the secondary. No Marco Wilson, no Sean Davis, and no Donovan Steiner. So as our post-game guest will be on with us later on tonight, and Will Miles from Gators Breakdown, which we were super excited for. We thank them. We thank him deeply for that one. We can't wait to talk, hopefully, for a win, right?
Yes.
Our entire fan base really wanted to go young. Well, we're definitely going to see it tonight. We're definitely going to see the brand of football for our youngsters, especially in the back end, which now, to me, once again, you're gonna have to get the pressure up front. It hasn't been there. Cox has to step up. All these guys that we have not seen at all have to step up. Well, we've had 1 or 2 turnovers through 3 games? I think it's only 1, maybe. It's been such a long time. I can't even look. Listen, I don't want to look at the negative stats anymore. Okay, we got Georgia next week. All right. So, like I said, coaching staff had about 3 weeks to look at this. I understand it was all virtually, wasn't really practicing one-on-one per se during those 3 weeks. But it's about damn time that you fix this damn thing, man. Listen, you saw LSU, right? I mean, I would have hoped that we would have played that LSU team 2 weeks ago, but we didn't. Now we get them in the back end, right? I think it's right before
They're still bad.
Yeah, exactly. They're still bad, but at the same time, I don't want to talk about another team if we can't even stop third down. We can't tackle correctly, and if the communications in the back end don't get fixed, okay?
Right.
Listen, Missouri's a tough team. Okay, listen, they play their hearts out against Alabama. I think they beat somebody else. I think the week afterwards. So, listen, Missouri and Arkansas and probably a little bit of Ole Miss, not that much, were looked at as the laughingstocks of the conference. They obviously have not been the laughingstock because even though the overall scores don't say that, you can kind of see where the coaching is already working and where the hard work is coming into play. With Florida, that's already set. We just need to be able to do a little bit much better on defense. Offense is already good to go. I want to see more running the ball here and there, but obviously I think through time that will get better. The offensive line to me hasn't played as bad, unlike last season, which whoever was at quarterback was always getting hit after he threw the ball after 3 to 4 seconds. So I expect Mullen to whatever he had to do, try to get it fixed. And you know what? Let's get off the field on third down tonight, man. Let's go out there and punch Mizzou in the mouth. Let's finish this game not as quickly as possible, but just have a great performance, man. I want to get into Georgia next week feeling good. I don't want to, talk to you guys for preview and be like, okay, we were 5 for 20 on third down on defense, or something like. I don't want that anymore. Okay, and when I mean 5 for 20, I mean like we per se, that the Gators defense would have stopped their offense only 5 times from 20 chances. That's what I mean per se. You know what I'm saying? I want to see turnovers. I want to see sacks. I want to see an overall game. And I understand a couple starters are out. That's fine. But this is why this is college football. This is not the NFL where you get to hold 53 and you got to decide. You got young guys in the back end that are athletic and talented. Let's see where the coaching stands tonight, and let's see if these guys got the message that Coach Dan Mullen said he was going to give them 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, and I think just to touch on I know you don't want to look at bad stats, and this is going to make you probably hurt a little bit. If you could just take a wild guess at how many interceptions the Gators have through their first 3 games, and do you know who it was?
Miller.
Gervon Dexter.
Defensive
lineman has our only interception of the season. Do you want to guess how many forced fumbles they've caused and how many they recovered?
Forced? I think they haven't forced none.
They've forced and recovered 2.
2.
So they've had, as you said, 3 turnovers in 3 games in total, and the 1 interception that they have isn't even from a defensive back.
Yeah, that's not gonna get it done in the SEC, man. I'm sorry.
Not at all.
And you can't blame that on talent. You can't blame that on nothing else, but it's the scheme, right? I mean, listen,
it's
not the first time though that Todd Grantham has had the heat on him. So something,
and I know, I know that there was that, and I wished it was true, and I got baited, and I felt so stupid after, like the week leading up to the LSU game, and it was the day after that comment by Dan Mullen where some fake account tweeted out that Todd Grantham had gotten fired, and I had seen one of the Gators accounts I follow, I can't remember which one, comments about it, so I thought at the time that it was real, and I was like, thank you, Jesus. And then an hour later, I saw a different one that I can't remember the name. It's the one that I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head right now, but they had kind of quote tweeted and mentioned that it was a fake account, and I was just like, damn. Like at the time, I'm like, all right, perfect, he's done, he's out, he's gone. Like, and then of course, we know how the past couple of weeks have went. You mentioned
the dream scenario. Will I don't know what Charlie Strong is doing right now, but I would love to see him again on the sidelines on our defense. But I
just want to see anything but Todd Grantham. That's my big thing.
Listen, I'm not gonna give up on Todd. Maybe because I am a nice person, or I guess I'm a realist knowing how this year has been. But I really believe that this is the year whether we either extend him or we fire him. Because you cannot be giving up so many third down plays and expect to be in Atlanta in December if this doesn't change. You have the players. I understand they're, some are young and sometimes the scheme is very complex. But there's no scheme that's difficult when you're missing tackles. There's no scheme that's difficult when every single week the same plays that you are getting beat on. When it's 3rd and 5 and your cornerbacks are 10 yards away, that has nothing to do with scheme. Absolutely not. So all those things have to change without question.
Yeah, I feel like, again, and I know we can wrap it up shortly just because there's not really much to talk about, I guess, just because we've been out for so long. And really the only thing to mention, again, was the defense. I mean, we left off on our post game. We didn't have a post game for Texas A&M, did we? No, we left off for the college wrap up on Sunday.
Yeah, correct.
All we had mentioned with Six Rings Kings was defense. Third down. And I feel like that's just the only thing that we could bring it into and leave it off on again. I mean, I know that a lot of people, and especially draft Twitter, you know how draft Twitter is. They all want to be right and they all have their own, opinions on things. But I think they like to take a lot of shots at Kyle Trask, but Trask has shown thus far this season that he can hang, and the offense has shown that they can hang. Now, whether he's a first-round pick or whatever, that's for later down the road. That's for people to discuss on their own. But he has shown that he can lead this Gators team, and that's something that we haven't had. I mean, we went through the list of quarterbacks in one of the pre-games.
It hasn't been that impressive since Tebow. Exactly. It has not been impressive since Tebow. But you know what? I'm going to read you a quote that one of my friends from Gators Breakdown, David Waters, just tweeted out. Just find a way tonight. Just find it, man. Find it. There's no excuse anymore. This is it. This to me starts you on the route to Atlanta once again. There's no more bye weeks. There's no more pauses. There's no more, okay, we have 2 weeks to get it fixed. Unless obviously if COVID comes, unfortunately, we can't say never. But this is it, man. This is when you start your run towards a national championship. I don't know how to say it per se. I guess a national championship run. Yeah. And you actually prove not to the other fan bases, to your own fan base that you mean business. And for us to see that Dan Mullen, listen, it kind of sucks though, because I didn't want Dan Mullen to have so much success in his first couple of seasons, but he's had it. And here we are. And guess what, my friend? We want more. And we have to see it, and it all starts tonight.
I think the big thing for me, and like to wrap it up here, is that when we looked at the season last year, and I'm not sure if you had attended the Orange Bowl game. I think I mentioned to you that like I was there, and I had a
final that night, so I was unable to attend.
When I was watching it and being there, it just was a different feeling. At the end of the game, obviously they won as they should have, and it was a performance that I think a lot of Gators fans were like, all right, this is it. We got the quarterback right now that we haven't had in years, literally decade plus. And we have the chance now to really kind of make a run. And then coming into the season, you destroy Mississippi, but there's defense issues. You beat South Carolina, but there's defense issues. You're beating Texas A&M, and you're showing the world, all right, we're going to win this game. Then you lose the game. And you throw it away, essentially.
Because you folded on the pressure on defense.
Right.
And
today...
Hey, you know what, Kai? And sorry to cut you off there. I haven't seen Texas A&M offense look that great since, which then once again tells me that. Listen, I understand that Ole Miss scored all those points against Alabama. Listen, it's gonna happen here and there, but that to me is not any proof of anything. Texas A&M's offense has not done squat the way that they did to our defense. It has to be coaching. There's no other pointing fingers.
The talent's there. You have the talent.
It's clear. There. Like Marco Wilson, go up and get the football.
That was one I think if this season doesn't pan out the way that we want it to, that's one thing that I think I'm going to continuously look back at. I do want to wrap it up here. My camera is about to die, and of course we want to keep it a little short.
Quick thing for our post game, guys. Hopefully it's after Gators victory. We'll have Will Miles from Gators Breakdown, our first ever guest on the post game, which will be fun. It'll be great. Hopefully we'll get that W, and then we'll preview real quickly next week for the world's biggest cocktail party.
Yeah. All right, guys. Hopefully, again, as you said, we get a Gators win tonight, and we can celebrate rather than be upset and talk about the defense. So let's try to get a win. And there you go. Battery exhausted.
Go Gators. Talk to you after.